We love it when we hit Mount Gambier. It means we're not far from Port Mac. The population of Mount Gambier is around 29,000. It's 434 k's from Adelaide, 440 k's from Melbourne. It's right in the middle and there's so much to see here. It's a great place for a holiday. That's the Blue Lake, and yes, it looks inviting, doesn't it? But it's a town water supply, so no swimming, guys. Now we've just got 27 more k's to go. Port Mac has a population of around 700. The main industry here is crayfishing. The Port MacDonnell Offshore Angling Club holds their tuna comp the first week of May every year. If you haven't been, you should come. It goes for a week and it's the best fun ever. When we come down to Port Mac, we stay at Seize the Moment, but there are loads of options available as far as accommodation goes, from Airbnb to the caravan park.
Port Mac. Morning, Trace.
Morning. Dead keen to get amongst these tuna today. There's been reports of big 100 kilo plus jumping like dolphins, so that'll be pretty cool. But there's a catch. They haven't been taking much in the way of lures and skirts or anything, so it's a little bit of a play by ear. Had some combos with the locals last night over a wine, and I think if we're going to be lucky, today's going to be the day. We just got to be on the right school of fish at the right time with the right lure in the water, and it should be good. Port MacDonnell has a reputation for being a dangerous place to fish. And you know what? If you don't do your research and you don't keep an eye on the weather, it definitely is. On your charts, it'll have a red line. That's your safe track out. Follow that track out and create your own, so you've got your own line on that track as well. And stay on it. Don't deviate. Doesn't matter what you think the weather's doing. Otherwise, follow someone out who fishes there all the time, but keep your track. So the plan was to head out to the 30-metre mark and start trolling for barrels. Easy as that. Oh, look how that boat sits in the water. Isn't she awesome? I could watch her all day, but I suppose we should get on with it and do some fishing. The boys had pulled up not long after we started trolling, so as much as we would be happy if they caught a barrel before us, well, not. We wanted to go and have a look and see what was going on. The minute we saw the net, we knew it wasn't a barrel, because barrels don't fit in nets. We were only after one particular barrel, and it had to go more than 125 k's. So we needed a way of measuring that. So we took the measuring mat out and worked out on the side of the boat how long that fish had to be if we were to keep it. If it was in good condition and smaller than that, we were putting a tag in it and letting it go. There's actually a chart which is pretty close to these ratios, weight and length. So she had to be at least 177 centimetres, or she was going to get a tag in her and put back. Anything under that, we were setting free. You know, you don't have to kill every fish you catch. There was no chat on the radio. No one was catching any barrels. And when we got a call from Chachi to say, come west, there's truckloads of schoolfish around, we thought about it for a minute and went, yeah, let's go catch some fish. So once again, the original plan goes out the window,
and we just go and catch fish. Again, they were all small, so the plan was to tag and release. We could see Charch and we thought, let's put our lines in and see what's around here. And we hadn't even got all the lines out, and Jules and I were on a double hookup. This trip originally was just going to be Jules and myself, and we thought we'd ask Richard to come along. The filming he did of the Mako was awesome, but we need that third person on board to do that filming. So he got lucky and got an invite. He also got really lucky because the deck was chaos. So he ended up, instead of being a cameraman, he ended up being a fisherman. I'm leadering Jules' fish into the net for Richard, and I'm still on my fish. So I've just got to keep mine going around in circles so it doesn't take off, and just wait for a net. This is awesome fun. I don't reckon we're the only ones who do this, but every trip we have a plan and we always deviate from that plan, and this was nothing unusual. No one had seen any barrels, no one had hooked any barrels, so we decided to put all the big barrel stuff away and just pull out the little 6 and 4 kilo lines that we had. How cool would it be if Murphy's will all come into play and we hooked up on one of those 6 or 4 kilos on a barrel? So we did discuss it, and we decided that if that happened, I would take it, because I got a tad more patience than Jules, because we were going to be there for a long, long time if that happened. So the plan now was use the light gear and tag and release as many tuna as we could. Get some points for the boat. We're nearly at the end of the season, so this was probably going to be the last opportunity we got to come down here and also to tag a heap of fish. To be totally honest, we hadn't seen this much fish all season, so if we didn't take advantage of it, we would have been pretty stupid. Coming up after the break, we've got a reversing boat and trailer lesson from Jules, and then she gets herself into trouble once more. And of course, there's a heap of fish involved.
So when we're reversing, we want to think about a couple of things. One is we want to look at reversing and looking at our mirrors. We want to reverse with our mirrors. That's the easiest way to do it. Once you learn how to do that, then you should be okay. So we look in the mirror, the side mirrors, and if we see too much of the boat in the side mirror, then we turn towards the mirror that we've got too much of the boat in, and then that will straighten up. If we want to turn to the left, then it's right hand down. So imagine your hand going around and saying, I want to go that way. Mm-hmm. That's the way you turn the steering wheel if you want the boat to go that way. Mm-hmm. If you want the boat to go the other way, obviously, then you just do the opposite.
The very first thing we teach the girls is how to reverse the boat and trailer down the boat ramp. Jules has devised a system that teaches these girls really, really fast. Like, they get this real quick. So, I'm going to play it again.
We want to reverse with our mirrors. That's the easiest way to do it. Once you learn how to do that, then you should be okay. So we look in the mirror, the side mirrors, and if we see too much of the boat in the side mirror, then we turn towards the mirror that we've got too much of the boat in, and then that will straighten up. If we want to turn to the left, then it's right hand down. So imagine your hand going around and saying, I want to go that way. Mm-hmm. That's the way you turn the steering wheel if you want the boat to go that way. Mm-hmm. If you want the boat to go the other way, obviously.
Jules is practicing her reversing. Yeah, come out now. I hope you guys got some benefit out of that. Now let's get back to some fishing. It's always easy to catch tuna when there's birds around because it gives you a really good indication as to where the fish are. We always get someone to point and not take their eyes off because you know what? Those birds, they just disappear right from in front of you. They just there 1 minute and gone the next. So if you keep your finger pointed at them and your eyes at them, someone always knows where the school of fish are because that's where the birds are. When we bring a fish on board, we all know what has to be done so we can get that fish back in the water as quickly as possible. First thing we need to do is get that hook out of his mouth. We then measure him so that we've got his measurements for our tag cards. We then pop a tag into him and send him on his way. Sometimes we'll take a photo as well. So Richard, this is taking quite some time this time. Why would that be?
Attention to detail, I believe.
Who didn't pay any attention to detail?
Oh, that'd be Jules.
That would be Jules? Was she busy dancing?
Well, let's say she'd be busy.
She still hasn't learned to put the clicker on.
No.
So what's this, 3 Ks away?
Yeah, well, I think we've got it back sort of 1.5. But fortunately, we've still got a couple of hours of daylight. I start to lose it now.
So Jules, what have you got to say for yourself?
Well, I might have forgotten to put the clicker on.
And that's not the first time today, I believe.
No, it's not the first time today, and it's not the first time this weekend.
So can you keep count, or have you lost count?
I think it's about 3 times, maybe 4, but you know, really who's counted?
I'm still winding.
Haven't got colour yet.
I did quickly hand it over to Richard to take the rod though.
I noticed that. I wasn't too keen to jump on it either. It's been a busy day. We've released probably, I don't know, 30 fish and tagged 12 or 13.
Something like that. Look
So
at
yeah,
the beautiful rainbow.
it's been
too.
an awesome day, full of rainbows.
Got to do something while we're waiting for Richard to bring this fish in.
Go make yourself a cup of tea while we wait for Richard to get this fish into the boat. After the break, lots more fish. There was tuna everywhere. We were at the stage that instead of just winding in on one hookup, we were waiting for all three to hook up before we even attempted to wind anything, and it was awesome. We also learnt that we could net our own fish and leader our own fish, and that's how it went for most of the afternoon. Poor old Richard, our cameraman, well, he just had to get on a rod because there was just so much going on. It's just lucky that we've learned a few tricks. And the biggest trick we've learned is if you put a cloth over the fish's eye, then it will lay there and let you do what you want to do with it. When we've got a deck full of fish, poor old Jules is down there trying her hardest to keep up with everything that's going on. You know, you've got to be able to keep these fish nice and calm. Otherwise, they start beating themselves up and they die on the deck. And we don't want that. Here we go again. 1, 2, 3, on! Even Jules has learnt to net her own fish. Didn't think I'd ever see that. She was pretty proud of it as well. And she had a right to be. Well done, Jules. Richard still needs a bit of help, but it's probably worth noting that Richard does get terribly, terribly seasick, so he's doing a good job. Here we go again. This is so awesome. Guess what? I don't need to say it. Gee, Richard, get out of the way. Hurry You know, I've never met anyone as optimistic as Jules. She turns every moment into something funny, hilarious and fun. And she hadn't had a wine yet. We were all starting to slow down and we were all getting pretty tired. The arms were starting to ache a little bit and we were getting a bit sloppy on deck. Being Jules, let's put all the rods in. Good idea, Jules. Let's see what happens. You're going to be responsible for the extra ones. Had so much practice this afternoon she can bring 2 in at a time. You go, girlfriend. I'm probably a little bit embarrassed to tell you this, but we were so exhausted we left those fish on the bite. So we ended up heading home fairly early. Normally we're the last boat in. We weren't. We had a late lunch on the way home and we were just absolutely exhausted. But we couldn't stop smiling. If you haven't already, subscribe to our YouTube channel at Team Justagirl. That way you can stay up to date with everything that we're doing. Justagirl out.